Hello, and welcome to another Block Chat. Today on Block Chat, we have Tobias. How are you?
Hi, Makram. Thank you very much for inviting for the blog chat. I'm doing well. Thanks.
It's a pleasure, and we'll introduce you to a project that I don't start with the name, want to start with the name of, because if I tell you the name, you'll immediately discover what is it all about. What I would tell you is if we've talked to companies that have partnered with us and joined us on the launchpad that have tokenized retail, residential space, others that have tokenized elderly housing, students housing, hospitality development. Today, we have a different type of development. I will start with Tobias. I'll tell you that it is interesting. You need to watch this block chat. You will hear about an asset class which is quite interesting, and then also in a location that's quite interesting. Tobias, tell us all about the project. Why the project? Why are you tokenizing it? And what should people expect joining us on that journey?
Yeah, thank you very much, Makram. Yeah, it's very interesting that it's until now not existing, but in the media in these days we are talking about global climate change, shift to net zero, sustainability, and all these kind of things. But there's not a real solution that we democratize more or less or fractionize the opportunity for small private people in the country where projects like this are realized, and also on the international way, and also not for global big industries. So since you from Blocksquare have this nice, very transparent and secure protocol of collateralizing real estate assets, we are developing at this stage 3 interconnected projects in South Africa. One is a sustainable city on 2,700 hectares. And the other is KTE Energy. It's a huge plot of land of 85,000 hectares, like the size of full Abu Dhabi, where we will develop a solar farm, wind farm, and electrolyzers to manufacture hydrogen for global local consumers, and also for global export, based on a carbon neutral footprint. And yeah, this is kind of rare in this sphere, and we every time have it, like also in other industries. We have this egg and chicken principle. You're running ahead, but you have the problem of finding the equity financing based on a real security asset. This is why we are right now trying to launch, or we will launch with you together, our new marketplace.
So let me understand better here. You have those amazing, huge plots of land that you're developing, those 3 interrelated or connected projects. Where's the location beyond South Africa? So where exactly it is?
It's in the Northern Cape. It's 120, 140 kilometers west to Cape Town. One is a plot of land with 4.5 kilometers ocean beach size. It's called the city is called Velddrif. There will also come up a new development of the Port Zadana. And the other plot of land is around 400 kilometers more into the countryside. But we choose this on a purpose because we are finding there the best topographical conditions. We have the highest sun radiation globally after the Atacama Desert, and we have stable wind conditions. This makes the opportunity to produce 24/7, 365 days, the cheapest energy globally. And when you have the cheapest energy, which is then also, let's say, green energy, we are able to produce green hydrogen and other, like methanol, ammoniac, and other products which you need.
So it's a project that obviously you're passionate about. Since the first we've talked about it, and I've seen your passion. You're developing with your brother, as I understand. And explain to me more. Have you acquired the land? Where are you in the project now? In which stage are you? Did you have the permits already? And at the same time, why are you so passionate about creating a project that has net zero impact? And that's the name of the project, by the way. So why are you passionate about that?
Yeah, my brother and me, we are doing this already 20 years. the renewables. It comes with our passion, and we are not doing it like right now. Everybody's jumping on this, so we really thought that this will have a global impact of change. Since Europe and Germany and other countries right now start launching these hydrogen initiative, we saw this coming, and my brother moved with his real estate partners from Europe to South Africa, and we're looking for the best locations in South Africa to develop these kind of projects. And yeah, there was a project developer involved for the last 12, 14 years, but he didn't bring it to an island project that we wanted to produce hydrogen and building a sustainable city. Because, Makram, sometimes it's very, very, very funny. We were first, my brother was only interested in the huge plot of land where we have the highest sun radiation with the wind terms. But, for manufacturing hydrogen, you need water. And in South Africa, like everybody knows, they don't have so much water. So we have a water extraction license from a river, from a sweetwater river. But to be honest, to solve all global water problems, we have to bring the salt water into the land. So my brother was keen looking at an property to having access to the land. And then now one comes to the other. Now already 1,700 hectares are in the zoning planning, and the Velddrif and the prime minister of the region, they want to build their sustainable city because many from the western side, from the eastern side, are moving right now to northern Cape Town, to this side, and so they will come up a sustainable city where more or less 150,000 people gonna live. And since this project already, you have to be the first mover there. So the project developer didn't have the vision like my brother was bringing down there. And so we already have 1.6 gigawatts of permissioning for renewable energies. And it's moving. And, the big good thing is what we achieved in the last week is that we became already a strategic infrastructure project, which is a really massive milestone, because you will get fully government support, and our projects are interconnected to the general strategic master plan of South Africa to shift to net zero. And there we are having again our net zero, and this is our name, net zero real world asset for the marketplace, and we are ready to cooperate with you and move and giving people the opportunity to participate.
So you've chosen to do this. I understand that you're passionate about democratizing the access to clean energy projects since a very long time. However, you decided to do it now with Blocksquare. Why Blocksquare?
Because we were thinking already of tokenizing these assets, or let's say a unit of water or kilowatt hour or unit of hydrogen. But there is right now a lot of scam going on in this fair, and because of a good old friend of mine, he's also partnering with you guys. You have the protocol, and it makes it very feasible, because we are not only talking here to private investors, we are talking also later on to bigger investors and also to governments. And we don't want to come in the situation that they call it's scam, it's tokenization or whatsoever. But we are very, very impressed that you are from the beginning and doing it in the proper way, that the tokens which we're going to use or imitate as investment are collateralized on the real asset. So you have the real direct execution to the asset. And this is why we think that Blocksquare is the only, let's say, company or provider who are doing this in the correct way from the beginning on. This is why we are now having here this call.
Cool. So you've said that one of the projects is in zoning and permission stage today. Does that mean, can I assume here that you've acquired the land, it's freehold land, and you've gone through the phases to get to zoning and permission stage, as well as being classified as a strategic infrastructure project?
Yes, that's correct.
Very good.
Correct.
So it's a huge project, obviously, and the three of them are huge. Okay. when you're tokenizing today, you mentioned that your plan is not only to attract buyers from the retail market, but also to attract probably institutional buyers, and some of them are partners with you already, as well as governments and beyond. How do you see the influx of institutional buyers specifically and governments into your project? Do you already have people and parties interested? Do you have parties who have talked to you and shown that kind of will to invest? And what stage do you believe you will have the first tokenized asset launched and goes online for sale?
Yeah, we are already talking globally with different kind of partners. Let it be private investors or institutional investors. We are talking over the borders, and this is also why we are thinking that tokenization makes it much more simple to go over the borders. So we had some discussion with some big Indian companies who are interested. You know, you are sitting right now in Dubai. I have a
And
good.
that's why you were in Dubai, yeah? You were in Dubai a few days ago, huh?
Yeah, and you know, the Abu Dhabi and Masdar and some other companies are very keen. And Dubai is, let's say, a project in a little bit bigger way from the city size. But you know what the people in the last 20, 30 years achieved there is massive. You know, so we are building a small sustainable city, and we are building a huge, let's say, power project there, which has even a bigger dimension what we are finding right now in the UAE. But it's for sure also interesting because, you know, we have this global problem. I'm allowed to talk with the Russians, are the Chinese, are the Europeans, are the South African people keen of this? And since we wanted to offer this, you know, when we are starting in the first construction phase, you know, which shall start, let's say, in 1.5 years from now on, you know, we are talking about the initial investment of 10 billion and more. And then we not even have covered 20% of the project side, and we not even have started to build the sustainable city. And then when we are working along your protocol, what you are having, you know, we can fractionize the units. You know, you can be also via the registration of the token on the asset. You can be becoming partly owner, or you can generate ownership of, let's say, 1 solar panel, 100 solar panels, 1 windmill. It's depending how big your pocket is. And later on, when we have the sustainable housing, you know, maybe when you want to purchase one, you buy it with a token, you know, and, you know, there are so many ideas behind which we can achieve via this. And I think also in the global shift now of AI and, you know, sanitizing technologies, pension funds don't know where to invest, you know, so it's also investment for all our pensions, and we have to think over the borders. So yeah, and there's already in these
Vision is
days so much
huge.
money on the blockchain, you know, which is looking for serious investments, you know, and when we provide it with you together, I think there's a huge opportunity for all of us.
So the vision is huge, Tobias, here. But as we discussed before multiple times, I believe that the start is to have investments into a small parcel of the land, because also such a huge lot of land creates a challenge when you go out to the retail market. So let's take a small parcel, and let's say somebody came in and bought a token to be a partner in a small parcel, which is worth, let's say, $3 to $5 million. So somebody came in, bought that token or few tokens, and is a partner in that now. When do you expect, and how do you expect that he will harvest benefit? Do you expect that he will harvest benefit from the growth in value of that piece of land whenever it's developed and producing? Or do you expect him to harvest value from earning continuously for a sufficient period of time from the production of that piece of land? Or do you expect that he will be able to do both again consistently over the coming few years?
Yeah, in the first step right now, we I think, we can make an evaluation about the project of the value increase, let's say on a daily basis, because this is right now why we are also not achieved the time right now to launching it, because we just reached the status of a strategic infrastructure project. For the people who are right now in the first mover, to invest between 3 million, or in some we maybe want to have 10 to 20 million. It's depending how much attraction we're gonna get. You will have the discount before the evaluation of a strategic infrastructure project. So you will have a huge upsize. And in the first stage, it's more the increase of valuation. So we are thinking about it from now a 2 to 3 years time period, where for sure right now we are getting, let's say, huge government parties who are also joining as shareholders to refinance and paying the dividends to the first mover who are buying the tokens. And then later on, for sure, when the mechanisms are standardized and coming up, you can go for the long run. You can have partnership of the operation, and partnership of the apartments of the city and everything. So, and I think that it's the downsides will be covered because we are giving it the discount and not over evaluating the projects. And so I think after 1 year, the first dividend is going to be paid. And then let's say the first tokenized period will be until construction started. And then there will come the next movement of tokenization for the long-term run.
Tell us, please, more about your background, your history. How did you end up doing net zero projects? And how did you end up with your hands on such a huge project? Yeah, because usually when people start, they start with very small projects. Here you have a mega project. How and why and what?
Yeah, as I mentioned at the beginning, my brother and me, I'm right now 41 years old. So I started with the renewables. I was younger than 20 years. So we were really getting...
Why? Sorry, I need to interrupt you here. Why did you start in renewables? What drove you towards renewables while you were 19 or 18 or 17 or so?
Yeah, to be honest, it was even when I was 15. I was more the
Okay.
sportsman dude, and I was a little bit lazy at school. But, in geography, I had to write a feasibility study, and we had these 2 windmills in front of our house. So,
You lived in Germany at that time?
Yes. And so I
And how
thought,
old was your brother at that time?
I don't know, maybe I was 15, 16, and he was 12, something like this.
Okay.
I don't know. And then I was writing these feasibility study, and then from one day to the other, when I turned 18, 19, 20, it becoming more and more attractive to making renewable energy projects here in Europe. We had already our other kitchen supplying business, so we purchased a big plot of a facility for our company. So the next step, we build
That's your family business, yeah?
Yes, from my mother.
Okay.
And then we put on the roof a solar farm, and then one comes to the other. And then I was parallel studying in Bielefeld, did my bachelor and master degree based on an example, how to do a feasibility study based on an example of a solar farm investment in Greece. Because the first electrician which I hired, he came from Greece, and he said, don't go to Germany, go to Greece. There you are getting subsidies, you have higher sun, it's much more profitable. Yeah, and then we raised, based on my feasibility study, from some family and friends, some funding, and then we started. We went to Greece and Hungary, Italy, Portugal, then Germany. We had a day-to-day business with 120 workers. In 2013, we did the first sustainable housing only with the energy of the sun. And now they are talking in all Europe, okay, we need sustainability. Then Fukushima came, they cut the market. So we had to reduce the day-to-day business. And I every time said to my brother, Dominic, we are good in law, we are good salesmen, we are not dumb and smart, we want to move. We are traveling a lot, we have seen a lot around the world. And then this project came. Our last project, which we have done, was in 2015, 2016 in Chile, in the Atacama Desert. It was there we already purchased also 1,000 hectares of land and participated in the biggest electricity tender auction in South America. Yeah, and then we every time had the drive. To be honest, even when I was 20, would be nice to build one of the biggest solar renewable energy power plant in the world. A little bit schizophrenic, but now we have this project here. So it's not that we are starting big. We only right now in general. This is a project of our marketplace which takes us off, let's say, not like a normal plane, more like a jet, because it gets a lot of attraction. In general, we also have globally, because of our background and our last year's experience in this business, also access to other projects who don't have this kind of dimension, but let's say would be for investors who want to purchase tokens from Blocksquare or via our marketplace for other sustainable solution, but not in these large scale.
So if we look at this project, obviously it will have multiple components. It's not only a solar farm or a wind farm or a hydrogen distillation. Do they call it distillation? A plant. Regardless, I'm sure you have other components within that project. What are those other components? What will we build there? Will there be residential components, commercial components, light industrial, heavy industrial? What will be there as part of this big city that you're building?
As I mentioned, it will be we have industrial zone, we have residential zone, we have commercial zone. There will also coming, let's say, a golf course, hotels, nice beach villas. Because when you see it, when we are launching our websites or the project, you have one of the nicest beachfront you can imagine in your whole to find globally. So it will be, let's say, like I'm saying, remember backwards in the 80s or 90s, Dubai, there was zero. There was ocean, a little bit sand. We built, let's say, a small Dubai with 150,000 and not 10 million people. But, we will have the power plant for renewables and hydrogen, because in comparison, like to in UAE and in Dubai, which is a good advantage, is South Africa, because they have exactly the local industries for local consumers, like steel. Everywhere they are talking to shift to green steel. This is why this project has such a big dimension, and fertilizer industries. South Africa has all of this, and they request and they have a huge demand of net zero carbon free energy, like electricity, and also now globally the hydrogen shift and the water.
So we'll have industrial city. Will we have enough residential, hospitality with hotels, any educational facilities? So will it be a whole city with all components that could be in a city, or will it be concentrated with few components that are industrial or industrial-like?
No. It will be a full city. I not even mentioned this. We are already signing for Velddrif with a university. They're in the progress of purchasing 30 hectares of land. So this is, let's say, our first.
Do you mind saying which university, or no, it's not signed yet, so you prefer to keep it for now?
No, I think in the next conversation we will make it public. There's interest there. My brother has been now, I think he's 6-7 weeks in South Africa, because now the main season time is there. So we are fully supported by the mayor of Velddrif. And now, during the summertime, we had the new elections in South Africa. The prime minister of the whole region is also fully supporting these two. Let's say there are 3 interconnected projects, but 2 real plots of land. You have one, the huge one, and you have this as the coast, which is fully supported. And the university will settle down there. We are in discussion with the Fraunhofer Institute from Germany, who is, let's say, one of the best in this sphere of sustainable housing, renewable energy. They have more than 20,000 workers or engineers, and they are also maybe making a university there. And when the first movement is there that the university will settle down there, it's for sure that understanding when the environment and the location is such nice with the beach, that we will develop, let's say, from scratch a fully future city of tomorrow. Let's say it like this,
And let's understand the supporting environment. So what is your nearest city there, and how many people live in the region? Or do you feel that you will get support or people moving there from all through South Africa and other regions?
Look, it's not very far from Cape Town, 120, 130 kilometers. And now there's already the movement, as I mentioned. I just had a discussion with my brother. Right now, we already have to fence the property because so many people are moving there. And when they settle down there for a couple of days, we have to make a legal act to remove them there, and they are already at the beachside, beachfronts, the beach houses, very, very nice beach houses. And we have a couple of kilometers away the new port, which already will be launched. So, you have everything in hand. And it's also very centralized,
That's quite interesting. Tobias, it's been a pleasure talking to you today. I'm sure that what we discussed is interesting enough for your community, our community, and hopefully everyone listening. If you would like to know more, feel free to get in touch, and we will definitely take you through more details. Tobias, can you tell us anything more you would like to share with our community or your community or anyone else?
Yeah, I think we already gave a brief overview what we are trying to do. I mentioned maybe we should emphasize the name. It will be Net Zero Real World Asset Marketplace. We'll for sure start with this project. What I would also to emphasize is that in the cooperation with Blocksquare, I think it's unique and it's a game-changing opportunity to standardize all this procedure based on the South African project. And what we maybe highlighted, the importance of the collaboration is that net zero, the sustainability, the shift, it's coming, and I think everybody should participate into this. And I think it's tokenization with you as a partners. I think we have a really huge future opportunity to do so, and giving also our impact for the future of our kids. That's more
I
or less.
believe that anything reaches the ultimate point where it pivots whenever it becomes so commercially viable. With time, fossil fuels are costing more to produce. Green energy is costing less to produce because technology is improving. I'm not sure how far can we go with shale oil and the likes. So I believe in the future there is enough green taking place. Aside of the fact that in some regions in the world, that decision currently is there for many reasons, and some of it is commercial, but others are political and geopolitical. Today, on a commercial level, it makes more sense than it used to make 10 years ago. And hopefully in a few years, it will make much more sense because every single part, like solar, is becoming much more efficient. The capacity of each solar farm per square kilometer is becoming much more efficient. The challenges that solar farms used to live are approximately eliminated or managed and mitigated, and the risks are and the downside is very limited generally. I'm not a net zero specialist, neither am I a green energy specialist, but the very little I know about it tells me that there's something in it for the future to be very interesting for everyone to know about. And generally, such projects at this level are not open to the public, are restricted to very few, either governments or BOT companies that come and build it on a BOT arrangement or something similar to that. And BOT here is build, operate, and transfer. So there is an opportunity here. We're not advising you to buy anything. The launchpad will be live in a few days. Please go ahead, check out every detail over there. Check out the project itself. Please verify every detail. And then if you're comfortable and if you feel that that's something that adds value to your future, please feel free to contact Net Zero, Tobias, and the team. And hopefully it will be something that will impact you in a very, very good way. Tobias, thank you so much for this Block Chat session. It's always interesting to see people who are passionate about stuff and developing it, especially after developing it at such massive scale. And it's not the first massive scale project you're developing. I understand that the one in Chile, as you mentioned now, is 1,000 hectares, and that's beyond the land that I hope to own ever in the future. So it's even tiring thinking about such a big magnitude project. It's very interesting having you. Thank you so much, and wishing you all the success with the Launchpad campaign and afterwards, and with the sales as we go.
Thank you very much, Makram. It was also a pleasure. I think we will come up with some more chats to giving the audience and the interested people more view into the project. But one thing which I want to say at the end, and this you just mentioned, it's right now the new gold rush, these kind of projects, and they are mostly secured by the big players. Small units you can get, but democratizing and fractionizing, let's say, projects like this to coming in at the stage at this moment is kind of unique, and really gives a huge opportunity. And one last sentence is, in 2000, we were getting subsidized price for the kilowatt hour for the sun in Germany of 50 cents per kilowatt hour. Now there in South Africa, we are producing the electricity out of solars for less than 1.5 cents per kilowatt hour.
Oh, that's without a subsidy.
I'm sorry?
That's without a subsidy.
Yes, without a subsidy. It's only building up. We can sell electricity at the land side for 1.5 cents. Look on your bills. Even in UAE it's cheap, but here in Germany or in Europe we are paying 30 cents per kilowatt hour. There, we produce it for 1.5 cents, and even if we have,
do you have a comparison here? That's interesting. Probably we're opening another block chat discussion here. So, do you have an idea of what does it cost currently the producing companies or the government to produce that in South Africa today?
Yeah, it's over 20 cents.
20 cents. Oh wow! And you're producing it at 1.5 cents.
Yes.
Or selling it at 1.5 cents. So
no,
producing
with 1.5 cents. We are not really selling the electricity because we are using at the first stage the electricity to manufacture hydrogen.
Yeah.
But let's say yes, for 1.5 cents you can operate a profitable solar farm. And there's a huge, if the demand is higher than the supply, what's going on. And South Africa was struggling back in the days with really lack of water and lack of electricity. And now with this, and it's kind of simple. We are in the competition. When you have the highest sun radiation in the world, you have a good plot of land, and even you have good wind condition. Who can compete? Can beat you when we all use the same technology? And they are standardized. So we're not depending on the subsidies any longer. And this makes it so interesting. This means that governments cannot interfere and destroy the project so much. So if there is a need, is a demand, you have the good locations, and as you know better as me, because you're expert with your expertise in the real estate, what is everything? Location.
Tobias, that's very interesting. Thank you so much for coming on Block Chat today. Everyone, thank you for joining us. Thank you for sharing our energy. And hopefully, until the next time, you will see an interesting project and much more activity from our team.